Welcome back to Delayed Response. I got some crazy conspiracy TikToks I know you're gonna enjoy. I wanted to do this on camera, but to be honest, my PTSD won't let me do it. I'm just battling some things right now by myself. I just didn't want this channel to just go to waste. So I'm gonna keep uploading and I'll be back to reacting soon. Be a hero and help somebody you don't know. Hit that subscribe button so you can help me grow. Thank you so much.
Back in 1969, there was a song that was released called Age of Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In by a band named The Fifth Dimension. In their lyrics, they speak very specifically about what the Age of Aquarius is and what will happen during the Age of Aquarius. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Age of Aquarius just began on January 20th of 2024. The band detailed that during the Age of Aquarius, there will be harmony and understanding, sympathy, trust abounding, and no more falsehoods or lies. And at the very beginning of 2024, the Age of Aquarius, this is already happening. There has been news about aliens and extra dimensional beings, billionaires and millionaires coming out and being candid about their preparation for the end of the world by building bunkers, big governments and individuals being exposed for lying, cheating, stealing, and hurting other people. And most importantly, news about World War III has been coming out day after day, warning us that something big is about to happen and that our world will change forever. Now, although some are hopeful for the Age of Aquarius, others are actually very fearful of it because some believe that the world will end during the Age of Aquarius, which is right around now. Now, whether you believe in astrology or if this band was right or wrong, none of that matters. We do see that something is changing and happening in our world right now, and we have to be prepared for it. So are you prepared for the Age of Aquarius and what's to come? Tell me what you think in the comments.
So I found these conspiracy theories that are so believable they actually might be true. Part 3. Number 1. The 40,000-pound Navy bomb. The US Navy detonated this 40,000-pound bomb in the ocean in Florida. Many people were concerned because the Navy stated that this was simply just an exercise, but others were certain that they were trying to kill a deadly threat in the ocean that we should not know about. I don't know. This exercise was at the coast in Florida. Doesn't seem like the right place for training. Number 2. Tupac Shakur is not dead. Every time a celebrity dies, people will try as much as they can to debunk the news. But Tupac's story is a little different. None of the suspects behind his murder were sent to prison. Suge Knight was a suspect, but the prime suspect was Orlando Anderson. And he was accused 2 years later, but he was already shot and killed as well. So we never got a real confession. The craziest thing is that Tupac's closest friend, Snoop Dogg, has stated himself that Tupac is alive. And he says it in a way where he's not supposed to expose the truth.
When Pac died, if he really did, you know.
If he really died, what do you mean by that?
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know. I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
Oh, there you go.
Suge Knight, the man that was in the car with Tupac when he got shot, also said this.
This happened, that happened, right?
Right.
If you think about it, right?
Right.
Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they didn't want to kill Tupac?
Because they're snitching to the police, so they ain't
Not
gonna get
just
arrested.
to snitch and be smart, son. Because Tupac not
ain't as smart as you should
dead.
be.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar.
I don't know what the truth is, but if Tupac is alive, I think the whole world needs him back.
MKUltra wasn't one experiment, it was a franchise of nightmares. Over 150 sub-projects, each more secretive than the last. Some had names like Artichoke and Bluebird. One, allegedly, was called Monarch, tied to trauma-based mind control and dissociation. The CIA didn't just test in labs. They went into prisons, hospitals, mental institutions, even universities. McGill University in Canada. Patients went in for depression, came out with wiped memories and scrambled identities. Many experiments were done without consent. People were drugged, hypnotized, isolated. Some were children. Even the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, was a subject at Harvard under one of these sub-projects at age 17. And here's the kicker. Most of these programs were contracted out to researchers who didn't even know the full agenda. The CIA just called it behavioral science. This wasn't science fiction. It was funded, documented, and partially declassified. And most of it still under wraps.
What's a high IQ conspiracy that you believe with your entire existence to be true?
So once again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. We're just kidding. This is a theory, all right? But if by chance what I'm about to tell you is actually true, then the moment you realize it, the simulation's already going to be watching you, okay? It is watching you. But in 2019, a man named Jared started posting online about something strange. It wasn't aliens or ghosts or anything like that. It was something more invisible. He said that every time he started researching simulation theory, his life would completely fall apart. His phone would glitch out, his emails wouldn't send, his dog got sick, he lost his job 2 times. And it always happened right after he posted questions like, what happens if I try to wake up from this? How can I wake up from the simulation? Is the simulation reacting to me asking these questions? He would tell people this, and at first people just laughed it off. Glitches happen, life is hard, coincidences and whatnot. But then more people started commenting, saying that they had experienced the same damn thing. One woman said her TikTok views dropped to 0 every time she posted about a certain Mandela effect. Another guy claimed that his smart TV would turn on at 3 a.m. exactly, but only when he was trying to read and look up stuff about Project Looking Glass. Go ahead and look that one up, all right? Another said that his entire friend group stopped talking to him after he asked them if they felt weird lately, like time had been broken. The theory is called simulation conditioning. The theory is this: we live inside of a simulated reality, but the system is designed to keep you inside the illusion. The moment you try to question it, the simulation fights back. Not by sending agents. Agent Smith isn't just gonna show up and start fighting you Kung Fu style. Not by deleting you, but by making your life harder. Like it's punishing curiosity. Lose your job, get sick, get censored, get isolated. Some people think it's random. Others believe that simulation is coded to preserve itself. And waking up is seen as a virus. But here is the weirdness, all right? Sometimes right before everything goes wrong, people report seeing patterns, repeating numbers in the universe, whispers in dreams, NPCs saying something that feels way off. I once had a dream where a voice said for the entirety of the dream, "Stop looking or we will find you." And when I woke up, I didn't know what they were talking about. I thought, damn, that was a weird dream. And then I got to thinking, what if they had just wiped my memory? Maybe it's all just paranoia. Maybe it's confirmation bias. But if it's real, then every time you question the simulation, it sees you. And it doesn't like it. So if your life gets a little weird after watching this video, you know why. You can thank me later. Damn it, man.
The thing is, like, how would we take that? How do you think people would take that if they found out that New Year's Day isn't supposed to be in January? Is it possible we've been duped into following a calendar built for control?
Oh, it's not just possible, it's likely. January 1st, New Year's Day, is rooted in Roman paganism. The Romans dedicated it to Janus, their god of doors and beginnings. You know, the one with 2 faces looking to the past and the future? Convenient symbolism, right? Julius Caesar, the man behind the Julian calendar, reforms it in 46 BC, and the Senate later deifies him on January 1st. Suddenly, it's the new year. Coincidence? Now let's talk about logic. Starting a new year in the dead of winter when everything's frozen and lifeless? Meanwhile, ancient cultures mark the new year in March, at the spring equinox, when life actually begins. Crops grow, animals stir, the earth wakes up. That's renewal. But nah, let's start it in January because control. Even the months are off. September's the 9th month, October the 10th. What are they teaching us? Math for the clueless. And don't even get me started on the lunar calendar. Natural, rhythmic, harmonious. But no, we stick with this system designed by elites who wanted you to follow their clock, their cycle. So next time you're counting down at midnight on January 1st, just know they're laughing at you. April Fools in January. How fitting.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Yo, I heard recently there's a lot of speculation there's gonna be a really, really big tsunami. Because
yeah, see, there's some shit happening.
Yeah, because there's a prophet and she predicted so many things that happen.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you. Her name is Ryo Tasuki.
Yeah.
So one of the things she predicted, and this was way, way back.
Yeah.
She made all of these different prophecies and they all came true. One of them being one day there's gonna be a virus and there's gonna be a pandemic.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna go into quarantine. That fucking happened.
Yeah.
She said it's gonna disappear and come back though in 2030. So that's one of the prophecies she made.
Okay,
one of the predictions.
Yeah.
But another one is she predicts in July of 2025. So this July coming up.
Yeah.
Cause I wanted to go to the Philippines, fam. I wanted to go to Japan this year.
That's in 3 months.
In July, yeah.
Yeah.
But this prediction is for July 2025. A huge tsunami is gonna hit Asia, specifically around Japan and Philippines area.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But the things that she predicted, like the pandemic, and there's a few other things. Yo, if she's right, even just knowing this information, I might as well just stay away. Because there's already signs of things happening with that earthquake.
The foot.
Yeah, if
all
there's
the
already a little bit of signs, bro, like maybe just chill off for a bit.
Yeah, real shit.
I believe that we have been observed and monitored for a long, long time. I think what we call the UFO phenomenon probably goes through our entire history. For me, when I look at ancient, advanced, like ridiculously, inexplicably advanced technology, the one thing I continue to go back to is the Great Pyramid at Giza. There is, in my view, not any conventional explanation for this at all. When you start getting into the mathematics, the engineering, the geographic location of it, among many, many other things, this indicates to me that whoever built that pyramid knew that the Earth was a sphere. They knew exactly where they were in relation to the entire world. They had engineering and transport capabilities that no one is able to explain. They completed a task that not a single human civilization could possibly have done until possibly the last 100 years. It's even a stretch to ask ourselves, could we have duplicated this today? Maybe we could, but could we have even done it as recently as 100 years ago? Could the United States of, say, Teddy Roosevelt have built the Great Pyramid? The answer is no. It's no. They couldn't have done it. They couldn't have done it with the precision and the exactitude. So I asked myself, if the ancient Egyptians were more advanced than America of the early 20th century, then there's something wrong here.
If there are competing civilizations that move their way through the Milky Way galaxy and the universe by collecting whatever is the genetic material of life forms so that they can make it in cloned containers that they then can use to put themselves into any planet, anywhere, camouflaged by that life form, then one of the biggest treasures. It's hard for humans to think about this, but when you get to this bigger picture, the biggest treasure would always be retrieving genetic material that could be preserved to make clones for whatever would be the reason. This planet is considered a laboratory. It has perfect conditions, and these conditions do not exist everywhere. 3 competing extraterrestrial biological civilizations conflicting in this planet, all of them doing genetic experiments. There are cloning technologies that will sustain cloned bodies inside of light, and that these are used in technologies by non-humans to access a camouflage of a human body. That by doing these clones, that they can become conscious beings that move around on the earth, and humans would never know. Would that explain why, in the evolution of standing up primates on earth, if you go back, say 35, 45,000 years, and you come to the overlap with Neanderthal, they didn't start their experiment out to end up with 5 different genetic populations. So how did that happen? We are on a planet in which humans war and kill each other over the color of their skin, whose God is superior to another's God.
The Simpsons may have predicted not 1, but 2 wars in 2025. And what happens next could change the world forever. In a nearly forgotten episode from the early 2000s, Lisa points to a spinning globe. 4 red dots blink. India, Pakistan, Israel, Iran. Then she says, history doesn't repeat, it escalates. Everyone thought it was just clever writing. But now, it feels like a warning. The India-Pakistan conflict in early 2025 was brief, but deadly. And just months later, Iran and Israel are at war. Missile strikes, air raids, global panic. The UN is on alert, and US intel warns, if one more country joins, this could trigger a global chain reaction. Some say World War III has already begun, just quietly. And now, an old page from that Simpsons episode has surfaced. With one chilling line underlined, 2025, the year nations vanished. It's no longer just a cartoon, it's a countdown. Follow for more Simpsons predictions.
We're not dealing at all with anything human. We are dealing with ancient extraterrestrial interactions with this planet going back probably millions of years, and this is another important part. In my own work have been whistleblowers that have been coming from a variety of directions, but the 2 most significant have been U.S. Navy SEALs. The entire moving Pangea continent that we know as Antarctica, the 2012 SEAL got there by going in on a submarine, coming out, and said, to him, it was one of the most astonishing things is that they came out of the submarine into what looked like a molded piece. The other Navy SEAL, who was there in 2012, he's the one who came in on a submarine to this 2-mile deep entrance. And he said that it was astonishing that as they come out, most submarines, if they're that deep, there has to be some sort of a decompression airlock thing. And he said the whole structure, they came in on the submarine, and when they move, the walls move with you with light, that the temperature stays between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit, that they have looked for the energy source. They cannot find anything that has wires. There's nothing that we would recognize, and yet, if it is 33 to 34 million years old, it is still sustaining a structural integrity with pressure. You have light that is moving with you. You have this even temperature. You're looking up at ceilings, and there is no structure that is going up. And they are maybe 33 to 34 million years old. What he has seen with his own eyes, 2 miles down under ice, are hieroglyphs, 9-acre rooms, that the very material of which the ceilings are made is neutralizing gravity. That we are dealing with advanced intelligences that know how to take a wall, put in at the atomic level, programming. If this exists, why? What would be any possible reason for why humanity on the surface of this planet should not be told everything there is to know and show about huge architecture deep under the ice of Antarctica? Why?
US president to lose power in August 2025. The Simpsons seem to have predicted the impossible. In a long-forgotten scene, the leader of a major country, blonde hair, loud personality, always stirring up controversy, faces impeachment. The tension in Congress is off the charts as the verdict drops. Impeachment approved. Cut to the Oval Office. The president sits alone, tearing up. He looks at the flag, wipes his face, and says nothing. The silence hits hard. Outside, all hell breaks loose. The streets are packed with protesters. Choppers buzz over DC across every TV screen in America. One headline steals the show, "End of an Era." And in the bottom corner, a date stands out. August 2025. Earlier in the episode, the president's caught holding hush-hush meetings with billionaires and foreign leaders. The similarities to what's happening now, kinda hard to ignore. Is it just a wild coincidence? Or did The Simpsons actually drop a warning? If you've got that weird feeling something's going down, drop a "I want part 2" in the comments and see what else this cartoon may have exposed.
ليه ما نصدقش يا معلم. تو حكاولنا قبل اللي فما ناس عمالقة عاشوا قبلهم. هذا شنو هو؟ هذا شنو هو؟ شو ساقي معلم؟ شو ساقو شو ساقو شو ساقو ساقي؟ اوي 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 فرج راسو بارابور ساقي.
In this report, it's just striking to me that several of them include biological effects and several do not.
Aliens are in the ocean. And different Congress and U.S. government officials just came out with a whole hearing and just told us everything we needed to know about these UFO sightings. Now, instead of UFOs, they mainly call them UAPs, which is any object that's in the air or sea that can't be immediately unidentified or explained, because they try to avoid the alien stigma of the term UFO. But they literally just had this huge meeting Wednesday, and all 4 of these men that were the witnesses were like retired people in the Navy and different branches high up in the military and government. And each one of these men talked about different situations with the UFOs underwater. And one of the men talked about how there was an unidentified underwater craft following a US submarine. And he said nothing that they knew of technology-wise could replicate that. And the speed of the object was faster than anything they could think of. He kept saying it was like an underwater torpedo.
If it's in The Simpsons, will it convince you that it's real? Check this out.
Get down from there. We have to keep a low profile till we get to Seattle to tell the world of the plot to destroy Springfield. I don't know if you guys should be talking so loud. No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Hi, I'm calling about your meatballs pizza. But I don't know if I'm ready to go again. You hang up first.
Oh, you hang up first.
Okay.
She hung up on me.
But we're fugitives. We should just lay low till we get to Seattle.
Hey, everybody, I found one. The government actually found someone we're looking for. Yeah.
I hope that's not all that it takes to convince you. But we've seen this control room in many different movies and shows. And just because there are movies and shows doesn't mean that it's real. We've seen it in They Clone Tyrone. We've seen it in The Secret Invasion. We've seen it in Westworld. We've seen it in Cabin in the Woods. And the list goes on and on and on and on. There are many shows and movies that we've seen this control room. But what does it matter? This is only for entertainment purposes. I know you're watching. Bye.
What if I told you the movie Pirates of the Caribbean didn't just entertain, it revealed something ancient, something hidden? Look at the title. at World's End. You think that's a joke? They literally sail to the end of the known ocean, the edge. And then a frozen wasteland. Massive ice walls, a blizzard so thick it swallows everything. Tell me, does that sound like fantasy to you? Or maybe, just maybe, it's a symbolic reflection of the truth we're not supposed to see? They reach this untouched place beyond maps, beyond reason, a place many believe surrounds our known world, an ice barrier. And it doesn't stop there. Ice Age? Same thing. A group trapped inside a valley surrounded by a gigantic wall of ice. They think that's all there is. Sound familiar? It's not storytelling. It's sneaky disclosure. Truth wrapped in fiction. Why? So when people like me talk about it, we sound insane. Clever, huh? But once you see it, truly see it, you realize it's everywhere. And the sad part? Most people would rather stay blind.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
This giant 7-foot-tall Palladian man came into my room and he says, "Hi, Elizabeth. I want to personally invite you to a meeting that the Galactic Federation is having." And so I said, "Okay." And he says, "All right, follow me." All of a sudden, we're going to the moon. We actually went inside the moon. Inside the moon are all these seats, kind of like a giant stadium. And in all of these seats are hundreds of thousands of interdimensional beings from all over the universe. There's weird gray beings, there was insectoid beings, there was also tens of thousands of astral bodies that were also just floating around the room.
You know, it's even more weird is if you take a picture of a $1 bill on the back.
It looks like an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you actually, well, you turn the contrast all the way up. And yeah, the contrast reveals an alien head and the face, the eyes, everything. It's kind of genius. What's in your pocket?
Yeah, Roswell.
In the shadowy corridors of power, whispers of a deep state coup echo through history. The scene is set in a world where elected officials are mere puppets, manipulated by an unseen hand. The task is daunting. Unravel the intricate web spun by bureaucrats, intelligence agencies, and elites who allegedly pull the strings of government. Determined to expose this clandestine network, investigative journalists and whistleblowers risk everything, delving into classified documents and secret meetings. They piece together evidence, revealing how these power players influence policy, sway elections, and maintain control behind the scenes. Their relentless pursuit of truth uncovers a chilling reality. Decisions affecting millions are made in smoke-filled rooms, far from public scrutiny. The outcome is a society awakened to the possibility of hidden governance, sparking debates on transparency and democracy. This revelation is significant, challenging the very foundation of trust in government institutions and igniting a call for accountability and reform. The story of the deep state coup serves as a reminder of the vigilance required to safeguard democracy.
I showed over 100 people, and I kept asking myself, how are all of us seeing the same thing?
Oh my God, it's changing shapes right there.
The laser was revealing numbers and letters running in a pattern.
Pyramids like this big here, and it looks like code.
It looked like programming code.
It's definitely saying something, Pen. I just want to take a picture of it and translate it. Wow.
You see that?
Okay, so yeah, it's not stuck.
No.
It's not because of the light.
No, it's on its own side. Light is just literally revealing it.
And each angle shows you different layers, different ways through it.
I can see through the wall. It's not like a hallucination. It has spatial awareness and permanence. I don't know. Whoa.
For centuries, mankind has attempted to explore these psychedelic, altered states, but we've never had a repeatable, testable phenomenon to observe until now.
Wow. It's like you can see through the laser into another dimension.
I mean, like, take yourself to that. Like, I just made a connection that nobody made before, which is a simple connection. The claim is, if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you smoke DMT, you will see code running in surfaces. Yes, like in the Matrix.
Well, there are a few possibilities. One,
I lost my mind, which is the coolest losing your mind ever in history. The second option is that this is the biggest discovery of humankind. If anybody ever asked themselves what it would be like to know you live in the Matrix for sure, well, I know for sure. I'm convinced.
They told us that we are never, ever to fly over that hole and we are never to discuss it again. What is that about? And does that have anything to do with all these other pieces that keep emerging? That there might be something archaeological in Antarctica?
According to ancient astronaut theorists, this was not the first time a massive hole has been spotted in the ice of Antarctica. Famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd allegedly reported seeing a massive entrance to an underground world during his 1947 expedition to the South Pole.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, allegedly talking about a large opening at the South Pole that went deep inside the Earth, ice-free, and was inhabited by various sorts of aliens.
Now, scientists searching for aliens are cautiously optimistic after discovering the strongest evidence yet of life on another planet.
18 months ago, scientists detected tiny hints of gas molecules in the atmosphere of planet K2-18b that might have been produced by life. Now, the scientists leading the search told me that the evidence has grown.
It is certainly the strongest sign we have seen yet. I can realistically say that we could confirm this signal within 1 or 2 years.
If you do, what would this say about the prospect of life on other worlds?
I think if we confirm that there is life on K2-18b, that would basically imply that life should be very common in the galaxy.
Yo, look at this. Look at this right here. You see this? This is a cloud, right? It's supposed to be gas. How does a gas, how does it have a shadow? Look, that one has a shadow too. How?
Wish to use cash. And I tell you why it is so important that people use cash. For example, I have in front of me, you're absolutely right, a good old £50 note. I owe you £50.
Yeah.
I pay you. You go to the hairdresser, you pay your £50. The hairdresser goes to the cafe, pays the coffee shop owner £50. The cafe owner goes to the restaurant, £50. The restaurant pays for the linen cleaning, £50. The value of the £50 remains £50. If, however, I pay you with a credit card straight away, I'm devaluing that £50 because I am paying 3% on average interest to a bank or a society that's given me that card, which is the equivalent of £1.50. You then follow that through, and everywhere you go, the hairdresser, the coffee shop, the restaurant, if you're paying with a card, you're losing 1.5% or £1.50 every time. So after 30 transactions with cash, you've still got £50 in value. If you've used your credit card, the value is now £5 because you've paid the bank £45 in fees. And that's why the banks want to encourage you to go cashless. Don't allow it to happen.